Now let's prepare the yoke. You should have cut 2 pieces of fashion fabric and a piece of interfacing for this. The piece of interfacing is going to go on the yoke that will be on the outside of your garment. So it's going to attach to the 2 back pieces that we stitched together. So this is your interfacing, or even like an underlining right now because it's taking up the whole piece. Pin it around all the edges. Okay, so lay your interfacing with your fashion fabric, pin around all the edges so it stays in place, and then go ahead and just baste in, do a diagonal basting stitch through the center of this. The other yoke without interfacing is going to be the yoke facing. All right, so this is the yoke back of your blouse, and you have the yoke facing. So now we're going to stay stitch the 2 pieces. All right, so on the yoke that has the interfacing, we're just going to stay stitch our neckline and the 2 sides which make up the armholes. Okay, so again, the yoke that has the interfacing, we stay stitch our neckline and the armholes. The yoke facing, the one that does not have any interfacing, we're going to stay stitch every edge of it. The neckline, the shoulder lines, the armholes, and the bottom of it. Okay? The reason why we're stay stitching so much on the yoke facing is because we need to stay stitch our neckline and our armholes, but because we're going to press under the bottom of it and the shoulders eventually. Okay? So once you're done stay stitching those, take the yoke that has the interfacing in it and line it up with the rest of the back you've already sewn. Find your center notches, your center back notches, and line those up. And then pin in. And what you'll do is just pin out in one direction and then pin out in the other direction. It's very straightforward. There's no gathering here or darts or anything you have to worry about. It's just a pretty straight seam that we're sewing. Alright, so once you have it pinned together, you can go ahead to the sewing machine and stitch that at a 1/2 inch. Back tack at the beginning and at the end. Alright, so now we're done stitching it. We're going to press it. So what you want to do is press the seam allowance. Typically we press it open, but in this case, we're going to press the seam allowance up towards the yoke, okay? Because the way this will be clean finished, it will all be enclosed within that yoke, all right? So again, press that seam allowance up towards the yoke. And there we go. Our yoke is attached to our back. All right. Next, we'll press we'll stitch our shoulder seams.